Okay, a major bombshell has been dropped in a briefing holding up the edge of a lie, so let's go ahead and get to that video. Enjoy.
Not a yes, sir. Not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold, have a seat for you. Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder. Thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
What's up, guys? Spenny. Who boy, seeing this meme in my timeline a lot these days. Libs are perfectly happy to not only look the other way, but celebrate when unarmed, peaceful protesters or presidential candidates or online commentators get shot and murdered by federal authorities or by members of their own side. Ashley Babbitt, MAGA, deserved it. Donald Trump sucks, the shooter missed. Charlie Kirk, fascists had it coming and a lot of celebration. And then when a leftoid tries to commit murder in Minneapolis, they lose their mind and burn the city to the ground. She was peaceful. She literally hit the ICE officer with her car, staring directly at it. You see the body camera footage. Renee Good is who they're talking about. There was another left-wing protester and agitator. His name was Alex Peretti. And he was killed this weekend because he was brandishing a firearm when he decided to fight ICE officers and then resist arrest. Now, this is a tragedy. I mean, it sucks. You know, I don't want Americans to get killed. I really don't. But you can't bring a firearm and then go fight federal authorities or cops. Don't do that. These guys are trained. That's like a guaranteed way to have a bad outcome. It's a bad idea to do that. Anyway, that's what a lot of the country is talking about, and that's what Caroline Leavitt was asked about at the White House press conference today. The first question was about why does the left have this kind of double standard? Caroline Leavitt rocking out of the park, talking about Ashley Babbitt, who was murdered by a federal officer. She was unarmed. She was part of a peaceful protest. Ashley Babbitt is somebody who, without warning, she's an American veteran, was killed in cold blood.
First, with respect to the shooting in Minneapolis, we're seeing massive outrage from mainstream media and the left, but I'm just wondering, where was that outrage when Ashley Babbitt, an Air Force veteran, was executed by Capitol Police Officer Michael Byrd, who she posed no threat to in the U.S. Capitol?
Well, you raised a very important point, which I also believe that I just raised as well in those opening remarks, in that there has no doubt been selective outrage by the liberal biased media in picking and choosing victims and highlighting their stories. And as I've said, President Trump does not want any Americans to lose their lives in the streets of America and in American communities across the country. He believes what happened on Saturday is a tragedy, but every life is equal to President Trump, and that's why the lives of Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungray continue to matter to him and be an utmost priority to him to this very day. And it's unfortunate that we did not see the same type of sensationalist media coverage over the tragic deaths of those innocent American women and girls across the country as we are in the wake of this tragedy that took place on Saturday.
Libs are literally protesting for rapists and murderers. Look at this. This is why I support ICE. These are just a small snapshot of the tens of thousands of Americans, tens of thousands, that have been killed by criminal aliens. Some of them in brutal murders like Laken Riley, some of them in drunk driving incidents, at daycares or whatever, accidents, some of them intentional murders, some of them just did, some Guatemalan is drunk off their ass and just flies through a stoplight, just murders Americans. There have been thousands of Americans. No lib marches in the street for them. Nobody remembers them. We remember them. This post went viral. I really liked it right here. Again, here's the meme all over again. I want you to remember Charlie Kirk getting his neck blown out in front of a bunch of college kids. The entire world watched it, and I want you to remember how the left reacted, how they celebrated, how they justified it. Hundreds of thousands of people liked a post where a well-known actress said that he deserved it. Charlie deserved it. Remember how enraged they were when President Trump missed a bullet, survived an assassination attempt? Something that would have thrown the country into chaos, if not outright civil war. Remember how they built shrines and merged to Luigi Mangione and Ashley Babbitt? They didn't even didn't just defend the shooting, they turned the killer into a hero. He got primetime CBS interviews. They mocked her death for 5 years. The hypocrisy is loud and rancid and makes their obnoxious red whistles seem quiet. This isn't politics. This is a communist insurgency carried out by people who openly worship the ideology of Karl Marx and want to eliminate everyone to the right of him. They don't care about life or innocent victims. They care about power, and they will justify any amount of bloodshed to get it. Except where we are now. It's not going to be pretty. Do not be manipulated by their narcissistic, emotional blackmail warfare. The only way out is through. Absolutely correct. This account gets a follow for me. A beautiful way to say that. Karoline Leavitt obviously calling out the press again and again and again during this briefing, saying, listen, you guys have been lying. You are engaging in selective outrage. Just a reminder that you all loved Tom Homan, who's now being deployed to Minnesota, when he was getting medals from Barack Obama.
This is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president. He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and...
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Karoline Leavitt going scorched earth again, saying that this is violence and that has been perpetrated by the Democrats who are in charge of Minnesota, and then stating, without hesitation, that we will not forget that all of this is because of the fraud rings that are here to collapse our society. The point of all of this is a communist revolution. You have to have places where there is no law, where you can have Somali fraud rings that defraud the American public of billions of dollars. You are able to take that to scale in a place like Minneapolis. Once you scale that, you really can begin to cripple the American economy, an entire economy based on fraud. The currency gets debased and collapsed. The entire economy collapses. Then you create frictions with the lower classes who are no longer getting their benefits. You have the ripe opportunity for a communist revolution. This is what communist revolutionaries have been trying to do for a very long time in America. It's why you have to stop the fraud. This is all happening because the fraud was exposed. This is all happening as a distraction from the fraud. Karoline Leavitt says it.
What the president is referring to is the fact that you have Governor Walz and, again, the mayor, who have been encouraging these left-wing agitators to come out and to harass and to dox and to threaten ICE and to make this conversation about and smear lies about federal law enforcement who, again, are just trying to do their jobs in an attempt to distract from the widespread, massive fraud that has taken place in their state.
Correct.
Billions and billions of dollars has been stolen from law-abiding taxpayers in Minnesota, and the administration continues to be very focused on getting to the bottom of it, and especially, and the president raised a good question over the weekend, with respect to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who now has a net worth within the millions, and one must ask themselves, why and how is that possible? Is she connected to the fraud rings that we have seen taking place within her state and her own district? It's a question the American people are raising, and the president believes it's one worth answering. Haley.
Karoline Leavitt at her absolute best, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Karoline Leavitt. Refocus the country's attention on what is actually happening, and never forget Ashley Babbitt, murdered in cold blood, unarmed, without warning, killed by the federal government, and leftists stopped and celebrated. They celebrated when Trump was shot. They celebrated when Charlie was shot. They don't remember anyone who was killed by a criminal alien who they brought into this country by the millions. No, I'm not going to make peace with these people. No, this is not